Yo, haha, Magnificent.
What's good, YouTube? Your boy Magnificent back with another video. If you notice that you are seeing a web page called Scan Trust, right? That's kind of behind me. We're going to get into the whole StockX thing and why Nike was able to figure out whether StockX was selling fakes or not. Now, I did a video probably a while back with QR codes explaining how some of it works, but this one is going to be a little bit more detailed. I noticed the uptick in that video when people start looking to see what's going on, and my guess is that there were some people trying to figure out how Nike does their whole QR code system. So here's why StockX got caught with fake shoes. You can do all the black lights, you can do all these testing methods you want, and that includes eBay, that includes StockX and any other GOAT, all that stuff. And I can tell you right now, it really doesn't matter. It comes down to the QR code. So let's kind of get down into this, and I'll explain in a minute. So every Nike shoe, or most Jordan shoes, the newer shoes, have a specific type of QR code, right? So you're looking on this website right here, Scan Trust, and it's kind of breaking down how people can just take a QR code and with a high definition, printer or something like that, you kind of take a picture of it with your camera, the QR code itself, and then kind of replicate that and put it on another product. Here's why that method does not work with these new QR codes. So without people knowing, there's actually 4 different types of QR codes. And you're looking at them right now, right? So you got a static QR code, you got a dynamic QR code, you got a serialized QR code, and a secure QR code. My belief, if you're looking at all 4 of these, and I could be wrong, I feel like Nike uses a serialized QR code. And then in the future, they might transition to secure QR code. Let's kind of break down the differences between the two. Obviously, a static code, if I were to summarize the whole thing, a static QR code, let me try to magnify this. It's basically a QR code that you can scan with your phone. It'll redirect you to a specific website that pretty much never changes. However, you go to a dynamic QR code, which is right here. You can hit a redirect web page with your phone. So once you scan the QR code, it'll take you to a redirect, and then finally takes you to the actual URL page of whoever, let's just say Nike.com, right? Then you got to the serialized QR code. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. It kind of performs the same way as a dynamic QR code, meaning I could, actually not the serialized, the dynamic QR code, that web page, the redirect web page can change, right? And it all depends on the merchant. So I can redirect you to a specific website, but after the shoe's been released or whatever it is, I can change the domain to something else, right? To kind of make it unique from others. Statically, you can't do that. Once the QR code is scanned from whatever original machine made it, that's binding it to a URL, it basically stays the same. Dynamic, it can change. However, this is where I believe Nike is using, which is a serialized QR code. So think of this for a second. The whole point of the QR code is to stop people from using counterfeit methods to produce replicas, right? So when you think about it, if I have a machine and this machine creates this serialized QR code, that counts as a specific scan, meaning I created this with this particular hardware machine. It scanned this QR code, which gives off its geographical location. If anybody, and I don't care who you are, copies that same QR code, puts it on a replica shoe that does not have the original scan or the digital marking from the machine that actually created the original QR code, guess what? It's going to come up in that machine as a fake. Why? Think of how everything works, right? So you got the QR code on the shoe itself, right? And you use your personal cell phone to scan it. Once you do that and it redirects you to that web page, You're giving away your geographical location of that actual shoe. I don't know if people do or may not know that. So it tells the system, hey, I'm the original QR code creator. I digitally marked this particular QR code. And now it is showing that it went from its original origin place, which was, let's just say, Ohio or something like that, Idaho. I'm making things up. And now it's in New York. So now I can follow that code, since somebody or a consumer took the same code that already has my original digital mark or my digital scan, and I see the scan is being made by a particular cell phone, and it's coming from this IP address, and it's basically just feeding that information back home. Now, this is where it gets tricky, specifically with the serialized QR code. The problem with that is that Nike is in control, meaning unless you work for Nike and you are you are creating the original QR code marking at Nike, right, the headquarters, it's really not possible for us consumers to verify whether it's duplicated or not. However, if I decide to take a picture of that QR code, I slap it on a fake Nike or fake Jordan, and I take the original pair, Nike has the original pair, and I have the fake pair, and I line it side by side to Nike, and they scan it based off their database, they're going to know which one is the real one, which one is the fake. Digital marking. That's how it works. So you can sit there and copy these things till the moon happens. The disadvantage with serialized QR codes is that Nike is always in control. So they'll be able to verify whether the shoe is fake or it's real based off their database system. We don't have access to that. You understand what I'm saying? This is why I believe Nike should go towards the road of a secure QR code. It may be more money to them in order to do that, and it may kind of mark up the money and pricing per shoe. I can guarantee you that, because this is all technology. If they go towards a secure QR code, and you can see the differences between a serialized QR code and a secure QR code, you notice that there's a additional marking or a picture in the middle. And what that does, it allows, depending on the software, depending on the system, and Nike can create an app for this. Now, the consumer has control to figure out whether this shoe that they received is an actual authentic pair or it's a fake. So at the consumer level, you'll be able to authenticate a shoe with a secure QR code. At the corporate level, you can only do it serialized with the serialized QR code method. That makes sense. So again, it's all about digital marking. So the Jordan 1 bread, I think it was, the patent leather, whatever, that StockX received, and they could have 4, 5, 6 different pairs, right? If they all have a QR code, right, but only one of them has the digital marking, the original digital marking from Nike that was scanned at their headquarters when they created the shoe before it got out to the world, they're going to be able to decipher which one is the original. So I kind of wanted to bring this to light because I think some people were looking at my video and thinking, oh, this is easy. All I got to do is just take the QR code, slap it on another shoe or another product, and I'm good to go, right? Wrong. It's 100% wrong. Once you copy it, I'm trying to, hopefully it gets clear to what, I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's not possible for you to just simply copy a QR code, the original QR code, and slap it on something else, because everything is a digital mark. Once you copy it with your camera, whatever it is, to replicate that QR code to put it on something else, guess what? That QR code that you copied, that you're putting on something else, does not have the original digital marking from Nike. That's the caveat to this. And also, like I said, the difference between serialized QR code and secure QR code, Nike has control. You know, they can go against their database system to verify whether your shoe is authentic or it's not. But if Nike decides to invest in secure QR codes, then, only then, will consumers be able to tell the difference between a fake and a real shoe right away on the spot. So, your boy Magnificent, comment below. Let me know what you think about this whole StockX thing because, man, I wish people would have went to scantrust.com before they decided to, you know what? All I got to do is just copy the QR code from one to the other. And if you were thinking about just, okay, well, maybe I'll just physically remove the QR sticker from the inside shoe and put it in the fake. Yeah, they thought of that too, but that ain't gonna work either. So your boy Magnificent, man. Hopefully, I think this kind of clarifies what I was trying to show people on the original QR code video because, like I said, there was a spike for a reason. But I wanted to kind of break it down and show people, at least on this website, and basically how it works, right? So kind of what we discussed about how a QR code is digitally manufactured. So, so you're seeing this kind of like live, at least on behind me, but you're seeing it on the website, how it works, right? Where a counterfeiter can just basically scan and it shows you right there. Counterfeiter can scan this code or this product, duplicate it, and then you would think, oh, it's real. That is likely the static, or actually it can be dynamic to a certain point. It's when it gets to the secure stuff, right? This is kind of what I've been talking about. The QR code is manufactured by Nike. It is scanned by Nike. It has original digital marking, right? And a counterfeiter, whoever it is, decides, let me just scan it. Let me just counter it, and then all of a sudden, it'll show, well, that is counterfeit. Now, that kind of works if it was go back up there, if it was a secure QR code, it'll work. Like, that's kind of how it works with this QR code. So, hopefully your boy Magnificent kind of got through to some people before you think it's a good idea to just copy the QR code and think all is well. Remember, the second you copy with a photo that QR code to another device, always remember that code that you have, the one you copied, does not have the original Nike digital marking. Make sense? Boy Magnificent. I am out. I will be looking at the StockX thing to see where it goes because I'm going to be honest with y'all, it ain't looking good for StockX. It really isn't. So if anybody wondering, well, how did Nike figure out? Well, now you know. Now you know. I am out. You guys, stay blessed.